Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Saranyaa. I am a registered psychotherapist currently and a sex therapist. I'm also consulting for other therapists too. I'm here with my friend Maureen, and today I'll let her introduce herself too. But today we're here to talk about our journey together. It goes all the way back to 2018 in the AWCCA program, which is the Assaulted Women's and Children's Counseling Advocacy Program in George Brown College in Toronto, in Canada. Yeah. Mo, did you want to come in and tell us a little bit about yourself and we'll flow.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
I'm Dr. Maureen. I'm currently in Sri Lanka. I'm a Canadian. And 2018, I returned back to Canada because
Mhm.
2010, I was there in Canada, and when I got divorced to my ex-husband, I left Canada. So Toronto's, not Canada, Toronto. So I returned back to Toronto in 2018 to make peace with my past. So that was the reason I ended up being in Toronto. And I got this opportunity to study at the AWCCA course.
Mhm.
And actually, that was one of the greatest gift I have got in my life, because first time I was able to share publicly my child sexual abuse poem in the class. I did this safe abortion presentation talking about my own experience of abortion, and also domestic violence, where I got acceptance because until that there was a guilt that I have made a mistake of leaving and also taking him to the police and court. So there was so much of guilt.
Mhm.
But that course really helped me to understand, as a woman, I did right. That is my rights, and I did the right thing. So that was a kind of a gift to receive from the course, that the guilt has gone from everything. And also, I was able to share the domestic violence story at the Take Back the Night in 2018.
Mhm.
So the first time coming back, where I basically I ran away from Toronto because of the death threats from him, and I returned back, and I started, and that was the first time big, it's an open
Mhm.
stage, huge people of people front of them to stand and tell the story what has happened in Toronto, front of everybody. And the
Mhm.
great support I got from AWCCA, because they all came together and they were carrying this "We Are with Queen Maureen," that banner, and it was something so helpful. So I'm so grateful that it shaped me to own my rights. And also I was able to do one assignment with about the psychological effects on women, how the women are affected psychologically
Mhm.
during the war. So actually war was not inside our curriculum, but still when I said, like, I want to talk about the war into my assignment, she gave me that permission. So I was
Mhm.
able to bring that part of how the war, Sri Lankan war affected especially women, how it, so that was a very helpful, I even did some art drawing and everything too. It was, for me, that course was like a trauma healing for myself. I did it for me to heal myself. And also the Funny Boy book review, because that was sexual health class, and it was all about the LGBTQ community. They wanted to
Mhm.
do the book review on it. But for me, that book talked to me about the Sri Lankan War, especially 1983 riots. So everything I have heard until that moment, I
Mhm.
never read anything of Sham Selvadure. I
Mhm.
heard, but I didn't have any, kind of a, but that in the course I was able to read that book. And when the assignment came, how this book, all this, actually they were expecting in the sexual way, because that class is all about sexual things.
Mhm.
But I wrote the answers about how that book helped me to
Yeah.
heal my war trauma. And she still
Mm-hmm.
gave me the whole full mark. She said, I have to accept it because for you, the book spoke to you in that way. And it was a surprise because for me, all the answers were, it was healing my war trauma through that book.
Mm-hmm.
So I was so surprised. Like even that book in that thing, it was
Mm-hmm.
a, healing for me.
Yeah.
So the whole course was about healing me.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, I have to say, you came into my life to heal
Mm-hmm.
me.
Oh.
Because when I first met you, I was
Mm-hmm.
afraid of you. Because until
Mm-hmm.
I met you, I had that freedom in my life because there were no Tamils, Sri Lankans, wherever
Mm.
I was.
That's right.
So even when
Mm-hmm.
I was in Montreal, I did French class. No
Mm-hmm.
Sri Lankan. So
Mm-hmm.
the whole freedom to be who I am. And I knew how white people treated me, that
Mm-hmm.
respect, that honor. They
Mm-hmm.
accepted me who I am. So I was free to share all my story. But the
Mm-hmm.
day you walked in and sat in that table,
Yes.
I was scared. I felt like
Oh.
I'm going to lose my freedom
Mm-hmm.
because
Mm-hmm.
I was afraid how you will react. Because
Yes.
most of the time, the reaction from Sri Lankans, right? It's like, why are you telling these things? It's
Mm-hmm.
past. You should
Mm-hmm.
move on,
Right.
right? Why are you? So that is one reaction I get. And
Mm-hmm.
then the problem I had was I was living in a shelter. So
Mm-hmm.
most of the Tamil people felt very guilty whenever
Yeah.
I said, it's a shame, right? It's a
Mm-hmm.
community shame. So it's like,
Yeah.
why are you staying there? And it's like it makes them to shrink and,
Mm-hmm.
like untouchable kind of
Comfortable.
feeling. Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So that identity was threatening me by, you being coming into my, space.
Yeah.
And other thing is because I came back to Toronto, but still I was so afraid of my ex-husband because of the
Mm-hmm.
death threats and
Yeah.
everything. So I was like, oh
Right.
my God, if she knows him, if he,
Right.
then what's going to happen to me? I will
Mm-hmm.
be in trouble. So
Mm-hmm.
that was other thing about having a Tamil person close to me. It was more
Yeah.
scary for me because I might be in danger anytime. Like I can't
Yeah.
trust,
Yeah.
this person because, she might do anything harm to me.
Mm-hmm.
So
Mm-hmm.
then
Mm-hmm.
the divorce itself, right? Like
Mm-hmm.
because I'm telling all the other girls, like I'm
Yeah.
divorced and I'm bringing out that identity alive.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
when you turn up, it's like, oh my God, that judgment, right? It's like,
Absolutely.
she's going to look at me like so small, right?
Mm-hmm.
She's, so that scary part was honestly, it was scary. So luckily
Yeah.
on the first semester, first semester, you were in a different group. So
I
you
was.
only
Yeah.
came for the lunch.
Yes.
So
Lunchtime.
only during the lunch time, I didn't talk much, but still
Oh.
you were present. But
Yeah.
you were not in the class. So in the class, I was myself because
Free.
I was safe.
Yeah.
But then second semester,
Mm-hmm.
you came into a group. So we were
Yes.
together in the group.
That's right.
And honestly, I think the first semester I have started to share
Mm-hmm.
everything. So
Mm-hmm.
I said, okay, I'm going to continue. No matter who she is, what she is going to
Doesn't
do, I
matter.
will continue.
Yeah.
So and then the biggest thing happened
Mm-hmm.
that is 2019, February 14th.
Mm-hmm.
You gave me the black rose.
Oh,
It's still there.
yes. You still have
Actually,
it.
I keep it in the altar because
Right.
it's so sacred. So
Yeah.
the when you gave this black rose, I started
Mm-hmm.
to cry. And that
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what this magic about this black
Yeah.
rose, but and I was crying in the corridor, and so many girls came and put their,
Came.
like, I was covered with the group of who we don't
Mm-hmm.
know. Like they just walked
They
in,
just
and
came.
everybody was holding, and I was
Yeah.
screaming and crying. and
Yeah.
everything came out. And
Yeah.
that is where I started my journey. And that is where
Oh.
I'm so grateful to you,
Mm.
because you know, that thing, because you are not even a good friend of mine at that
At that
moment.
time, no, no.
For you to come with the rose, because
Mm.
we didn't even go out together. We
Nope, it
didn't
was just
have a
school.
chat together,
Yeah,
it's just the classroom. So there was
that's
no
it.
any special reason to give
Hmm.
me the, rose, because there was no connection at all. It's all
Yeah,
through other people we got
right.
connected. But
Yeah.
not personally any connection between us. But
No.
then the rose changed me to trust you. So the
Yeah.
rose is the reason for me, because like
Wow.
bringing that pain, that burden, that
Yes.
heaviness
Yes.
out,
Right.
and I didn't know that I had that much of like scream to
Inside.
cry.
Yeah. Totally.
Mm, You said like that,
Let it
let
out.
it all come to an end. Because
Hmm.
black rose, right? Who gives a
Yes.
black rose in this world? Because
Yeah.
I heard about red rose in my life. So
Hmm.
this black rose,
Hmm.
and honestly, it was like a healing part of my journey.
Oh,
And that's
yeah.
I think so.
I appreciate that, Bo. Yeah, I appreciate you sharing that because you're right. We didn't know each other very well at that time, but like through other connections is how we were connecting. And I think I was like observing you in class and during lunchtime and just like how bravely you were talking about your journey. And for me as well, I was like, I haven't seen anyone Tamil, Sri Lankan, like and from our background to be so vocal, right? So for me, it was like it's such a big inspiration to take that spotlight, to take up space, right? That was the big journey that you taught me. And for me, I was like, I just felt like I don't know. I'd never seen a black rosy. That was my first time seeing it in that store, and I was like, this is for Maureen. I don't know why. This is for Mo. I'm gonna get it.
Wow.
So then I did, and I was like, and I remember giving it to you, and I was like, this is like a rose of transformation. Let it be something that transforms you. Let it be something that releases you, especially on February 14th, right? Like that just felt so important on that day to give that to you, and I think that really like solidified our friendship and trust. Absolutely,
True.
absolutely, yeah. Thanks for sharing that. I appreciate